well without the rocket booster, so they're technically just falling into orbit. Is that how it is? Like the ISS when it's falling in the Earth.
How do the astronauts re-enter?
Yeah.
No, like when they re-enter, is it just like how the ISS keeps falling in the Earth's orbit, but then it keeps going?
They have to deorbit, which means that they're flying around like this, just like it. You know, it takes forever for it to fall in, but it takes a long time. It takes months for it to fall in. But they have to purposefully turn the rocket backwards and slow down. Because if they're going a certain speed, they have to slow down. When they slow down, they go into a lower orbit.
Yeah.
They have to slow down more, a lower orbit. And the lower they get, the closer they start getting to the real atmosphere. You know, the atmosphere is a very thin layer.
Ozone layer.
The ozone layer is above the atmosphere kind of thing, right? Well, there's many definitions for what sphere you're talking about. But the lower you go, the more drag you have. The more drag you have, the more resistance, the more friction. The more friction, the more heat. The more heat, the more burn, and then that's when things happen.
Yep.
So go ahead. Is that
Certainly.
okay? So the astronauts, when they come by, they're trying to slow down. Now you think that if you're on the back of the space station and you throw a ball backwards, is it just going to fall to the Earth?
No.
Why not?
Because
It
takes a long time.
It takes a long time. So it is going to fly backwards at the same speed you flew it through it, but it's still going 17,500 miles per hour minus 20 miles per hour. You know, it's still going flipping fast, and it's still going to be going in that big orbit. It's slowing down, so it is going to go a little bit lower, but just a little bit. Okay, go for it.
Trinity.
So in a video I watched, how does the Space Surveillance Network work?
The Space Surveillance Network work? That is done to identify what are they called near-Earth objects. Did you hear about those? Near-Earth objects are the scary things. You know, the scary ones that they're not orbiting around the Earth. They're orbiting in the solar system. And they call, highly elliptical orbits. What does that mean? What does that sound like it means? Do you know what an ellipse is?
No.
None of the orbits are actually circular. They're actually like ellipses. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay, there are objects that are big, that are like asteroid size, that are orbiting around the sun or something else, but they have these huge orbits, and here's the Earth spinning around. And here's this orbit that's not even in the plane of the Earth. If those things ever collide, not only is the space station doomed, but the whole planet is doomed. That's what those are looking for. There's about 1,000 of those objects, and they're worried about. They want to predict what the directions are, so they can identify when a big collision could take place. Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
And I also.
Let's talk while we're walking. Let me show you something. I want to show